In the outskirts of Hindale, the party discusses what to do once they reach the city. Arrtaron notices that the ring he found now has a closed eye. Entering the city, Ox is taken to the side to sign a contract with the magistrate as part of the entering process for the bestial races. As they enter the city, Laura has a proposition for Bellator.
Oh no!
Okay,
Bellator.
shoot.
I know that we're about to stop in Hindale, and the people here... I don't perform in the carnival, so I don't get a stay in the carnival grounds. I was wondering if maybe you'd like to join me for a bit of a more upper class place. I know a place that we could go to.
Are you talking about an actual bed?
Yeah, it's called the Satin Sanctuary. Only mercenaries are allowed there, and it's a couples exclusive.
Yeah, I'll pretend to be a couple with you.
Pretend? Oh my god!
She winks at you and says, "Sounds good."
I'm so happy to have a bed again. Oh, that would be so nice.
Oh, they're great beds. They're imports from Hillston.
The party is informed that many of the places in the city are closed due to a mandatory public trial taking place that night. Our heroes head for the Emerald Theater, a massive theater for all major performances in Hindale. On the way, Silver is stopped by the gypsy tiefling, Jasmine, who invites her to go to another viewing site with the Sladalian Druid Circle. Silver accepts, and is introduced to Geshri Thaxlor, the Archdruid of Sladal. He invites her to attempt 3 trials, which will allow her to join the Sladalian Circle if she passes. Silver accepts the invitation. The hearing takes place for Catherine Ordmeyer, accused of high treason and set to be executed. As she is read the extent of her crimes, several hooded members of the crowd stand, and a magical pulse renders everyone stuck in their seats. Catherine begins to exclaim about how a mysterious he will return. Then her and all the hooded attendees turn to dust. King Jaster Gertrand tells the crowd to calm, and everyone is dismissed. As Silver leaves the Druid's tower, she takes a clipping from an awakened fern, which takes the personality of a newborn child. She names this new life Spore. That night, Bellator performs a ritual for Rhea, asking for her insight on his choice to leave home. The party meets with the remaining gypsies at the steps of Hindale's largest church, the Church of Cristelia, goddess of art and creativity. There, they meet Gail Whitney, the High Priestess. She tells the party that she will unpetrify the gypsies if they meet her demands. She requires that the gypsies not perform in the coming festival, that the party pays 2,000 gold per gypsy, and that Bellator joins her in a sermon for Cristelia. As a show of good faith, she unpetrifies Haley.
As a sign of good faith, you see that she walks over to one of the statues you see was Haley. She says a few words, and some lights shine, and you see that the stone starts to turn to flesh as Haley comes back, and she kind of falls to the ground, and she says, "What happened?"
I thought you'd be screaming in pain because of...
Last thing you remember was the Gorgon, if I'm not mistaken, right? Big bull.
Right.
Yeah, we got you unfrozen from stone.
There's everyone else.
They're downstairs. Would you like to go and meet them? I don't think our present company is very comfortable.
Okay.
Right now.
What's the... And you see that she has, like, a note on her arm that she, like, grabs.
I'm out.
Yeah. You were dating Arrtaron, if I'm not mistaken, right? Haley?
You see that she's looking at the note, and you see that there's a tear in her eye. And it, like, falls down. And she just, you see she goes... and she goes running off down the hall.
Ladorna tries to chase after Haley, but loses her in a crowd. The party, unhappy with the deal, begins searching for new ways to help the gypsies. Silver shows the party her new plant child, Spore. As the party discusses their plans, Arrtaron's profuse cursing begins to affect Spore, who is just learning to speak.
Arrtaron, you say fucking weird, and you hear a little voice. Fucking weird.
I really don't like that shit.
Shit.
Stop teaching it!
Shut up.
Shut up!
Oh, no.
Shut it.
Shut it.
He gotta cover his tree.
Don't burn my little child, okay? You're gonna burn a child. Again.
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 What do you mean again? So what do you mean by again?
Arrtaron, what does she mean by again?
I don't know.
I just turn away from you and face the opposite direction, trying to console my little plant.
You're consoling the plant, and the plant says, "Fucking weird."
Ladorna decides to use her proficiency in crime to see if she can find some help from the city's underbelly. Through asking around, she learns that she may be able to find help at the Shady Corner Inn if she utters a passphrase. Hindale's criminal kingpin, the Marbleman, sometimes visits there and may be able to help for a price. Ladorna meets with the Marbleman, who is impressed by her boldness and decides to hear her out.
Yeah.
You the normal basil bub, or are you something else?
Something else.
Hmm.
I'd be happy to show you some other time, but again, trust is a big thing.
Trust is almost the main currency here.
Absolutely.
We got a hit on a man.
Name?
Name's Gaitan Daihoon.
Okay.
He's been, he had that trust. He had it for a while, and, weirdly enough, I've been hearing, little things that his tongue might have been slipping to some of the guards. Sometimes it's just best to cut off loose ends.
Right. Loudmouth.
Well,
I understand. Any idea where I could find Jason? Or Jayton? Sorry.
Gaitan, he's kind of a little privy. He's not dumb. He understands what he did. Got a close friend of mine thrown into Astray.
Ladorna accepts the job and is told to be quick. While traveling to tell everyone the news, an arrow is shot at Ladorna. A note attached with her husband's handwriting. The note cryptically says, "Hello, darling." Ladorna turns to see a figure darting from a guard's tower and into the night. Meanwhile, the rest of the party helps Jeffin as he moves some of his things into a room at the Guildhall of Sworn Swords, Sladal's most popular mercenary company. While there, Bellator asks Jeffin if they can join. Jeffin gets them a meeting with Drex Rinvale, the Minotaur captain of the Guildhall. He tells the party that he has submitted Ox as their leader and Bellator as their pet. During their meeting, Drex gives the party several tests, including combat. After passing the tests, he tells them that they must come up with a name and complete a contract before becoming full members. He begins to take the names of the party for his records.
And he points at Ox and he says, "Name."
Ox.
And points at Ladorna, "Name."
Ladorna.
Points at Silver, "Name."
Silver.
Points at Arrtaron, "Name."
I'm not gonna say anything. That's Arrtaron. Why is Arrtaron on the ground?
He got punched to the ground.
He's not moving anything.
Oh, he's just laying there.
Adrian never told me he stood up.
What a good little dog.
And then he points at Bellator and then back at Ox and he asks Ox, "Name."
He asked me for a name again?
He's asking for Bellator's registered name.
Oh, Chip Chop.
Chip Chop.
Chip chop.
Don't speak, pets, and I...
Ladorna tells the party of her job to kill Gaitan Daihoon. Arrtaron, Ox, and a begrudging Bellator agree to help. After scouring the city for information, they find Jaitan's home in a walled community in the center of the city. Ladorna peeks into a room with a light on to make a disturbing discovery. Ladorna finds a room painted pink with a cradle and toys across the floor. As the party discusses what to do with this new information, they hear a voice in the alley near the house.
You guys turn and you see a hobgoblin standing there with a large duffel bag over one shoulder, and in his other arm he's holding something wrapped in cloth moving. My name is... How did you know my name?
Fucking Christ.
I'm kind of looking at Ladorna. I think your best bet is to stand right there.
Look, I don't have anything against you. Just let me go. Let us go.
Can we just talk for a bit, Jaden?
What?
Can we talk? Like, in your place? I have some news to tell you.
You see his breath is like really shaking. He says, "Yeah."
Alright.
And he leads you guys around back where he had gone out, and he brings you into the house. You see, it's not a rich house. This is the rich neighborhood, but it seems that the way he's living is not very rich, as if he put all of his money into just being in the gate.
Yeah, like as if he spent all of his dirty money.
The room with the cradle probably had the most furniture. It had like a little toy box, and it had like a lamp in it. The rest, there's no table in the house. There's a couch, kind of like the one that came with the place, but there's no like extra stuff.
Is he how's he look, by the way? Does he look haggard? Does he look tired?
He's got bags under his eyes. He's got red skin as hobgoblins usually do. He's got his hair tied back into a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
His face, he's pretty thin. He's a pretty thin guy. He's got a bit of muscle going on, but also the clothes he wears is very like you'd expect it from like a commoner in a bar.
Yeah. So I guess we're just sitting down or standing in his living area.
Alright. You guys are standing, and he says, "Welcome to my house. It's not in its best shape right now."
Thank you. Do you want to put the young one down into bed first?
You do see one tear goes down one of his eyes. He says, "Yeah, I can do that."
Okay.
And he goes into the room, and then he comes back out with just the duffel bag.
You mind setting the duffel bag on the floor?
Yeah, and he puts it down. He just kind of slumps off his shoulder onto the ground.
I'm sure this comes to no surprise, JG, but I was sent here by the Marbleman.
Yes, I assumed as much.
Right. And obviously, no one wanted this. I'm sure you didn't want this. I'm sure you wanted only the best for what you have here.
Just kill
for your
him.
child.
I couldn't let him keep doing what he was doing.
I'm gonna be afraid to ask, but what exactly did they do?
Yeah. Do you not know? Slave trade. He was a part of the slave trade. And I was one of the slavers that captured people. I worked for him for years and years, and it wasn't until a few months ago that an old acquaintance brought me, and he looks over at the door to where he has put the child in, and he says, I became a father, and I couldn't keep doing it. And I every day I was doing it, I didn't want to look myself in the mirror, and I had to do something. I told the gods about a hit we had. We were going to go on to a school trip and lure as many children as we could away, but I couldn't keep doing it. I mean, what if that happened to her?
Right. Of course not.
And I told the gods, and they got...
Why stay here?
That's what my plan was tonight. I couldn't leave out with no notice. There's monsters. I'm not the most fit to fight. I can't fight and protect a young person at once. I had to save gold. I had to steal. I barely have enough to buy passage on a ship that'll get me to Hilston.
Jean, it
The gill.
pains me to do this, but I need what he has. I need his power in some way to help some friends I have. Look, I'll make sure that your kid is safe. Okay?
He looks over at the door.
He's looking up at the door.
Yeah, over at the door.
I'm gonna throw a throwing knife up.
I'm gonna step out of the house.
You throw it and it goes directly into his neck. And he turns around at you with wide eyes and he kind of like puts his hand up to it. And he looks you in the eyes and he says, "Protect her." And then he falls over and he slumps onto the ground.
Damn, dude, you're a monster.
Ladorna takes Jane's head and puts it into his duffel bag. Bellator, upset by all that has happened, leaves back to the Satin Sanctuary. The rest return to the Shady Corner Inn that night to meet with the Marbleman. Arrtaron decides to take the child and stay nearby. When they reach the Marbleman, they find him sitting with an aquatic elf. The elf's eyes are fully red, and the guards near him seem afraid. The Marbleman introduces him as Destiny, a guest of honor. Destiny asks to meet with the party as well, and they are led to a meeting room.
And you guys sit there for about 15 minutes before the Marbleman comes in, as well as the elven figure. And for the first time you hear the elf talk to it, says, "So you are Ladorna, correct?"
Correct. Yes.
The one who inquired into Mr. Magister's whereabouts, I believe?
That is correct.
The same Ladorna who was spotted in the town of Vahiliv a few weeks ago.
I suppose so.
And as you say that, he looks at you and you see his head kind of tilts to the side and he gives you like a little smile, like a smirk. And he says, "How darling to meet you. And I'm assuming the big boy here is Muzz, and he's, we'll say a sidekick."
I like to say co-partner.
Co-part, okay.
Oh, well, we all use a lot of words for our insubordinates. And the Marbleman kind of cuts in and he says, "So, you got any news on Gaitan Daihun? We're kind of waiting on that. Kind of a big deal, as you can see." He kind of motions up to the people sitting silently above you guys. And they all kind of like lean in for your answer.
I open the duffel bag and toss out the head.
You see, for the people in the back of here, there's like a few gasps, and there's one person who chuckles. And the Marbleman grabs the head and looks it over, and you see the elf like motions, like puts his hand out for the head, and the Marbleman kind of slinks back and he puts the head in the elf's hands, and the elf looks at it and it holds it as if he's looking it directly in the eyes, and you see he goes in and he takes a bite out of the nose.
Jesus.
And you see he chews on it for a bit and he puts the head down. That's him.
Destiny uses magic to see Arrtaron, and the mercenaries escort him down to the meeting room. Destiny tells them that he has changed the deal, and that he would like the child as well. Arrtaron argues, but with no way to fight back, they hand the child over. Destiny then asks for one of the Marbleman's mages. Entering the room comes Gale Whitney, the High Priestess of Gristelia, except she now wears entirely new symbols and colors, with not a single marking of Gristelia left. She extracts blood from the trio, and they are told to never speak of Destiny, lest they wish to die. Destiny tells them that the gypsies have been cured, and that the three are free to go. Arrtaron, upset with the result of the night, finds Bellator and invites him into the forest near Hindale. There, he shows Bellator the grave of his mentor and guardian, Nora Meldrin. He tells Bellator that he was never very religious, so Nora never received a funeral. The two utter prayers to their gods, and Bellator learns Arrtaron is a follower of Gabmoy, the deity of arcana and knowledge. The next day, the party meets with Alfreshton to find that the petrified gypsies are now freed. During a celebration, the party comes together to decide a name for their group. They all go with the name Dizagreeables, because they couldn't agree on anything. Robin asks Ladorna if when they leave Hindale that they can travel to a nearby town to visit her family, to which Ladorna agrees. Resting from their recent adventures and preparing to take on a contract to join the Sworn Swords, the party finds a fighting pit and playfully spar with each other. Laura comes by to talk to Bellator, berating him for his recent aid in a murder. She tells him to meet her in the woods. Bellator slips away from the party and heads into the Ulf Woods north of Hindale.
You see she walks over to you, and she takes your hand, both of your hands, she takes both of your hands, and she looks you directly in the eyes with like a very strict face, and she says, "Can I show you something?"
Yes. I came here half expecting to have my teeth kicked in, so... Yes.
That's close enough. And you see she grabs a golden dagger from her waistband and she stabs you in the abdomen with it.
Oh, you... God damn it! How much damage?
That's gonna be 3 damage.
God!
3 necrotic damage, I should say.
Oh, okay, so 1 damage.
Yeah. But as you feel the like necrotic energy, you feel something on your back like tickling you.
God, I don't pay any mind to the tickling. I am worried about being fucking stabbed. You
Alright,
stabbed me!
I did. Look in the pond.
Please. I'm gonna remove the dagger.
Alright. It's like a curved blade, kind of fancy. Rune inscriptions on it.
And with my last first level spell, I'm gonna fucking cure wounds.
Okay.
Oh my god, what the fuck? And as I'm saying what the fuck, I look back into the pond.
Okay. You look into the pond and you see behind you are 2, not white, but golden wings.
Coming out of me?
Yeah?
What did you do to me?
I didn't do anything.
That's not true, you just stabbed me. And what you stabbed me with gave me wings.
What I stabbed you with was...
I think I might be having a panic attack. And I start hyperventilating.
Okay. She slaps you.
God,
You're like me, aren't you?
I don't think so.
What dreams do you have?
I
Are you
occasionally
in the room?
I see my sister in a pure white room, and recently it has been turned grey. You are not getting this dagger back. Yes, I have dreams of
It was
a
grey?
fucking room. Yes, it's grey now. Okay. Alright, I think the cure wounds is kicked in. It's starting to not hurt anymore. I don't know if I'm like you. I've always been told I was special, but nobody's ever told me why. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a human, and whatever the hell you just did to me gave me wings.
Bellator and Laura discuss each other's history. Bellator talks about his worry for his mother. Laura tells him to gather his party and to meet her in their room at the Satin Sanctuary. He does so, and the confused Dizagreeables enter the room. Once there, Laura says she can cast the scry spell a few times with a ritual and begins with Bellator's mother. They find her in a black void, and she begs Bellator for help, which he promises to do before the vision fades. Ladorna asks if she can scry as well, and gives Laura her wedding ring. She opens a scry, which shows someone wearing a hood peering in on the party from the balcony. The party chases the hooded figure across the rooftops, and eventually catches them when Arrtaron lands a shot on their leg. Ladorna pulls off the hood expecting her husband, but only finds a tiefling woman, who tells her that it isn't the right time, before using a mysterious device to teleport away. Ladorna inspects the now destroyed device, finding it to have the logo of Mr. Magistar, the businessman she died trying to expose. The party all heads to bed, except for Arrtaron, who asks Laura to scry on his father. Laura shows him a man on a boat. The man is working on papers, and an unseen voice can be heard outside of Arrtaron's view. The voice calls the man General Amaya, and notifies him that they had landed in Craven's Quirk. The vision fades as the man stands, asking if he was confirmed to be there. The party is invited by Alfreshton to the Gypsies' performance. The party enters a giant festival with all manner of shops and games. The party sees a hooded figure standing at a tanning shop.
Whoa there. Slow your roll, narrator. Hi there. I'm Gabriel Oliver, resident asexual and lore master of Old Sovereign. Some people also know me as the DM of the show. But sadly, the things that we were about to tell you were retconned due to some scheduling conflicts with a guest. There were some cool scrap things, though, like Ladorna being hunted by monster hunters, a giant battle, Destiny and Gale Whitney, as well as Gaitan Daihoon being alive somehow. Fuck you, Daniel. Fuck you. Fuck you. That was a joke. Continue.
As the festival begins, the party wanders and plays carnival games. During that time, the party overhears that the islands of the Rai Archipelago have fallen victim to something called the Devil's Blood Plague. As the party listens, they fear that the plague may be the same one they had barely escaped. They are welcomed to VIP seats to see the Golden Couatls tell a creation myth about two ancient dragons tasked with creating the world. The two dragons secretly created their own worlds and sabotaged each other. While the two dragons were worried for their worlds, the one they had worked on together fell apart, and the two dragons fought to take full control from the other. The two dragons were evenly matched, and they both lost the fight. One dragon fell, where they lay at the bottom of an infinite chasm. The other dragon was propelled upwards and fell to rest on top of a great mountain. The two dragons would eventually become the gods Metin and Tiamat. During the performance, Robin makes a confession to Ladorna. She tells Ladorna that the nearby town was a trap, and that Mr. Dusk would be waiting for them there. She explains that in her dreams, he has been showing her things. He uses a spell to show Robin times where the group talked behind her back, calling her crude names and equating her to luggage. She shows herself in dreams, resisting Mr. Dusk at first, but slowly losing her willpower as the memories keep coming. She shows the day the party fought the Gorgon, and how she tried to leave, thinking if she was gone that Mr. Dusk would leave the party alone. He appeared in her head and caused the wounds they had found on her later. She gave in, and agreed to trick the party to go to Avalik, the nearby town. Robin apologizes profusely to Ladorna, understanding if she wished Robin to go alone to the Eastern Isle. Ladorna, initially angry, tells Robin about her life and fears that her husband, Bios, was still chasing her down. Ladorna agrees to stay with Robin and promises to be better with her. They both inform the group together and leave the festival. Alfreshton finds them as they leave and invites everyone to an after-party, which Bellator decides to skip to go see Laura. At the party, the gypsies award them with gifts as thanks for their help. Bellator goes to the Satin Sanctuary to find their room cancelled, and that Laura had left with an aquatic elf. Hurt, Bellator attempts to cheer himself up by taking a contract to kill a two-headed ogre for the Sworn Swords. Days pass, and Silver completes the first of her trials, taking a branch from a treant. She is told her next mission is to find a witch in Franksisk Mountains, far, far south, in the Elven homelands. The party begins the journey to kill the ogre, and on the way, a tree falls in front of the party's cart.
Piece of meat.
Hell yeah.
I'm okay. I'm gonna lift the thing.
I'm a help lift.
Okay.
So,
You're gonna get crushed.
Oh, please. Hang on, Ox. Let Bellator do it.
Yeah,
Let Bellator do it. I think he could do it. Let Bellator do it.
You probably can.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
let him do it. Let him do it.
Alright, okay.
Let him get some more exhaustion points.
That's me.
Fuck my life.
Go at it.
I tried lifting it. You know what I got?
What'd you get?
Fucking one.
You see Bellator goes to lift the branch, and as he does, you guys hear like a, and you see one of his shoulders droops down way lower than the other shoulder.
That's so mean.
Bellator, you have dislocated your arm.
As the Dizagreeables find a camp with evidence of several ogres, Bellator continues to perform poorly on the field.
Gabe, how far away is the cart?
Are you gonna run after her?
It's like 10 minutes away.
I'm gonna fucking book it.
Alright, have fun. We'll meet you back at the...
Bye.
Make an athletics check.
Fuck! Again?
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
get exhaustion, my friend.
Fuck!
Yes, please.
Poor Bellator making silly decisions and losing his arms.
He's big silly. He's big silly.
Yep.
You should
Another
turn
nat
over
one.
You got a nat 1.
Again, yeah?
Holy
shit, Levi.
You
He's
should
gonna-
use your inspiration dice so you don't get another.
You guys see he starts running, and he gets to the clearing. He gets to the end of the clearing. He runs across the clearing, gets to the edge of the woods, and immediately gets decked onto the ground. Bellator, you're gonna take 8 damage.
8?
8 bludgeoning damage. You were running hella fast. You would have made it to Robin.
You were
Get
booking
my
it.
ass up. Get my ass up and start booking it again.
Make an athletics check with disadvantage.
Just get back over here. This is going in my Twitch compilation.
I'm going. Fuck!
Is that a third nat
Throw
one?
another nat one.
No! I can't! No!
How did you roll 3 nat ones?
I don't know!
Can I just...
Bellator.
He's literally only like 4 minutes away from us running this way, so we're just watching him fucking flail around.
Like he just ran across the clearing, and as soon as he got the fucking cracked his head open.
Jesus Christ. That guy's really...
Bellator, you start running, and you guys all see Bellator runs directly into the trunk of a tree. Hits it. And because it's you, Bellator, because you keep rolling ones, I'll let you roll a D4.
Okay.
Hey, Ox, he's been wanting to go out and like actually start fighting things too. This is like his really wanting to do this.
He's gonna have 3 compartments by the time we actually fight this thing.
Yeah, that's a 3.
That is how many hours you'll be unconscious.
Oh my god.
The party, now with a conscious Bellator, tracks down 3 of the creatures to a lake nearby and attack. The battle, however, attracts the attention of 2 hill giants. They attack Ladorna, and she falls unconscious. While the party attempts a hasty escape, Ladorna has a strange experience of her own as she lies in the line between life and death.
You wake up for a second, and you have no idea where you are. You're in... It's hard to explain. It's like clouds. You're in like a room made of clouds, but the clouds themselves are different stars. It looks like nothing blackness, and then you're on little puffs of like little bright dots that looks like stars in the sky.
Okay.
And in the room that you're in, it's made of these weird puffs you've never... It doesn't even seem like it's physical. It almost seems unreal to you.
Okay.
You hear a little bit of like grumbling from... There's no real distance in this place, but you hear grumbling that feels distant.
Okay. Trying to make it out.
Mm-hmm. You try to make it out. It does just kind of hear...
Does it sound somewhat familiar?
No, it
Maybe
does
a
not.
tone of voice?
Does not. At all.
Okay.
It sounds almost unearthly to you.
Okay.
And then you see, coming up from under one of the puffs, like a little tentacle with an eye attached to the end of it. And it pops up, and it looks directly at you.
I squint at it. Almost like I'm looking right back at it.
Okay.
Almost like a staring contest.
You squint at it, and as a reaction, pops out 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20
Most.
more eyes
That's
pop
a lot
up.
And then you see one big eye comes out right in front of you. If there was a distance put to it, it's like 30 feet or something, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like this is imagery, and you can't feel yourself existing around you. You're not physical here.
Yeah. I mean, I know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think Ladorna knows what that is.
Mm-hmm. And you see the eyes looking directly at you, and you hear a voice. Funny little thing, are you? What brings you here?
I think I got really hurt, and now I'm stuck here.
And you hear like it laughs, and the laugh like almost feels like it's coming from all around you, in front of you, behind you, under you, above you. You are a funny little thing.
Thanks.
I wonder if you'll stay here with me. You'll stay, won't you? You promise?
What do you got for me?
You see it makes like a sound of like anger, and it reels back a few of the eyes, like go back into whatever ashy blackness there was.
You don't like giving things out for free? Neither do I. But
Things are fickle fiends. Things don't interest me, and thus I have none.
Fair enough.
But it does get very lonely here from time to time. Would be nice to have a companion.
I miss companionship too, buddy. We all miss companionship.
Why did they
Everyone's
not
lonely.
take you? Why are
don't know.
you different?
Probably because my weird husband turned me into this thing. I don't know.
Husband.
Maybe it's
What is
like
a
at the front.
husband?
Oh, what? Oh, my companion.
As you say that, there's like a shift, and for a brief second, you don't feel it, but you taste blood. As for a second, you flash back to the world.
Okay.
And that's when you're carried up the ladder.
After the fight, Silver is sent to go retrieve Robin, and to go get their main cart from its stable. When she arrives, she finds Robin unconscious, with runes being carved in her abdomen. Silver wakes Robin, and the two ride into the woods to find the party. On the way, they meet a small gnome who tells them that his village has a dream witch who could help Robin. Meanwhile, the rest of the party travels the path as it rains, hearing strange sounds from the woods. The two groups meet up and head for the gnomish village. Ox befriends a 7-inch gnome named Fig. There, they meet the Dream Witch, who says a magical parasite afflicts Robin's mind as she sleeps. She tells them that she can send them in, but they must act quick, or they could accidentally kill Robin. The party and Robin agree, and as Robin sleeps, a ritual is performed to enter her mind.